Hello, I will now show you the third game of the finals of the World Championship Through the Ages. I've shown you the two 4-player games before. Actually, this game was the first one to finish just before the 4-player games, but since I only start recording a bit later anyway, I went for the 4-player games first, since that's kind of the natural order. And after the two 4-player games, we have E5 leading the group, so he performed the best in the two 4-player games. He had a first and a second place finish, which scores him 9 points. Then there was Martin Pêcheur, who won one game and lost one, scoring him 6 points. Then I had a second place and a last place, scoring me 3 points. And Weidenbaum was third in both games, so he's at 2 points. So yeah, not the greatest position already. I think Weidenbaum having one less point than me means he's still favored to score more than me at the end, and the others already have more points than me. So it's still gonna be hard, but well, there's still a lot of games to play, and we'll see how it goes. Starting with this 3-player games against currently, after the 4-player games, the two leaders in the group. Alright, there are some leaders and wonders in this game. Pause the video if you want to have a look at them. And yeah, for me, I think first position, clear choice. There's basically a lot of bad cards on the row, and this is a good card. So Martin goes for Acropolis and Richland, so he doesn't like Homer at all and prefers to wait for another leader. There's Hippo, Boudica, Confucius, Cleo, but he may not get anything for one action, so I could see taking Homer as well. I think I probably would, because he's probably gonna have to pay 2 actions for his leader. And then yeah, EG is the last good card on the row, perhaps, because the rest is not great. And then for me, like I said, I take Homer for 1 over Cleo for 2. Homer and Romero is not the best combination, of course, because Homer is -1 civil action, Romero costs 4 civil actions. But taking a leader for 2 is also not a great combination with having the 4-step wonder. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Homer and hope to finish the Roman roads in time. And then just the standard stuff. And then Martin will pay 2 actions for the leader, and he takes Cleo over Confucius, which I find interesting. She works fine with Acropolis, sure. Well, but I'm not sure why. I prefer Confucius myself. So. And then E5 will take the Colosseum. So it's basically either take it or wait for an H1 wonder, and the good H1 wonders are here. Maybe that's also part of why Martin wants to go for Cleo. Can finish the Acropolis really quickly like this and be ready to pick up an H1 wonder. Maybe that's part of his reason as well. But E5 won't wait and just go for Colosseum, which is a fine wonder. And I'm taking Ein for 3 again. I think I did it in the last game as well. It's not not like I do this every time, but yeah, again, just like in that game, there's not much available here. Homer is not really a leader I want to keep for a long time, so taking Columbus as a transition leader is not perfect here, and obviously I'd have to find a colony somehow. So let's super risky and not really something you want to spend 2 actions on. Neither are the other cards here. Well, Ines is of course a good card to have. So I take it for 3 and build the lab, but there's just not really other options I think here. And of course it's not great because I'm already spending a lot of silver actions with the leader and the wanderer. So taking something for 3 is expensive. But otherwise, yeah, I can build 2 steps and take irrigation or something. But yeah, that's not great either. So I think it has to be this. And oh yeah, I seeded. It's worth mentioning. I seeded the cult worms, which is yeah speculative, but at least I'm in first position, and I have Homer who can help a bit with military. Although yeah, there's an Acropolis here. Colosseum might also help a bit with military. And he's gonna get Boudica, who is also kind of good at military. So yeah, I just seeded basically in the hopes of getting 2 rocks out. Because if I got 2 rocks, then I can just build the Roman roads and not have to do this expensive turn. But we got food instead. But I just seeded in the hope of getting one of the two rock events. And I can't move. Yeah. So he built one stage and a mine, which works out nicely. He had a Richland A, so that works always well with Clio. And then takes irrigation for 1. Didn't seed. And then E5 will build a lab and now take an elect Boudica. And then he'll take the Columbus. Yeah. If he does, it's not likely that he has a colony already, but he'll have the Colosseum. So then, and Boudica is the leader that you want to keep for all of H1. Yeah, H1. So then I think it's just nice to take the transitional leader, which he has good chances of finding a colony for. And yeah, so I see that the call to arms last turn, so I felt I might as well, I'll have to go for some strength anyway. So I might as well double up on the strength events and see the fray as well. And then the alchemy is available. Again, I also seed it in hopes of this time getting science, or maybe 2 rocks again to have a clean turn. But this time settlement was revealed. But the alchemy is available for 1, so I'll just upgrade 1 alchemy. But it's of course it's a bit not ideal as well. I'm going for this alchemy because it's here now and because it's what I can do. But it means I have now a lot of things I want to get done. I have these strength events that I need to prepare for, and I have the ability to upgrade mines and labs, and I have a 4-step wonder to build. So this is already getting pretty busy ahead of me. I have the fighting band at least to help me prepare for the strength, hopefully. And now another option. Religion is now revealed, which is nice for the Acropolis player. And he takes monarchy, yeah, of course, and can go for it right away, yeah, thanks to the free religion. So that's very nice for him. Also, these 2 strong wonders are here already, but nobody will be able to take them, I think. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know if he gets out of corruption then. So. Yeah, so very early monarchy is nice. Then E5 gets to use the free religion as well, and Boudica is providing resources because the Acropolis was finished, so he has to build a warrior and takes a frugality. So now, yeah, we're already heading towards the next deck. I don't want to push yet, so I offer this trade routes agreement, but it's not accepted. And then yeah, I'll take these rich lands because I have the iron and hopefully can upgrade pretty soon then. And what else did I do? Yeah, increase population and build a stage. And I think I will then also use the Homer resource and reveal the fighting band to get a bit stronger already. So that if they don't increase strength, but they like their Boudica will for sure increase strength. So, but at least Martin will have to build something. Otherwise, I maybe can push already. And then Civil Life is revealed, and he goes for Barbarossa. Uses him to build a warrior, builds a third lab, and yeah, he used the Civil Life to develop this, I think, and also uses Barbarossa a second time, unfortunately, so he will already be at 4 strength, which is unfortunate because then I probably can't push into this. Also, he took a lot of cards, and now the Swordsman will be discarded before my turn, which is unfortunate because Swordsmen work really nicely with Homer and would be nice for my fighting band. So this Swordsman getting discarded is actually really bad for me, and I couldn't really take it on my turn. Now Science is revealed. And e5 will go for the swordsman actually, so I wouldn't have gotten it regardless. Yeah, it's also a very nice tech with Boudica, of course. And the knights will stay on 2, and both my opponents are now at 4 strength. So I don't think I see it then. Yeah, I'll go for the cheap upgrades with the rich land at least. And yeah, take the Code of Laws. So yeah, now we're all at 4 strength, and unfortunately I can't really go for anything more. I don't have population for it, and yeah, there's not really any way I can increase my strength more. So yeah, I'll just have to hope that I don't get hit by either of the strength events I see that yet. At least he spent 2 military actions, but of course he had the early monarchy, so there's still a chance he can see it. And yeah, I'm at this point hoping that I won't get hit by them. Could consider Nostradamus a 3. But then, yeah, so don't take the Code of Laws. But yeah, I can't really replace my leader yet because it's Homer. So that would be a way to at least not get hit by Call to Arms. But yeah, at least if I don't get hit by anything before my turn, then it's looking pretty clean. I can get the Code of Laws. Pop, use Homer's resource once more, finish the wonder, but then I don't get to replace him with him anyway. Or yeah, maybe dot pop, just take Nostradamus, and no, it doesn't actually work either way. So I guess I just replace Homer without getting the without keeping the happy face, and then finish the wonder perhaps. But yeah, it's a bit messy at this point. And first event revealed is the Call to Arms, so now it gets really messy. And Martin gets stronger again, has a Legion tactic, which is again bad for the potential fray. But e5 doesn't cede and also builds more strength, and now elects Columbus as the age is ending, and gets even a little stronger by copying the fighting band, I think. Yeah, the fighting band. So Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to see it, and only I have only two civil actions, and the Roman roads is not going to be finished. So this call to arms being the first event was really painful because yeah, after this I would have Nostradamus and at least not lose that event anymore. But yeah, now I'm going to lose my Roman roads. My Homer basically gave me two rocks. And I guess the opportunity to use this worker before it is normally happy or something. I don't know. Yeah, so I didn't get much out of my leader, and I didn't build my wanderer. At least I have some upgrades here, and I get the code of laws now, so I have the fifth civil action. So there's some good things, but it's a pretty messy start and not really looking so nice actually. And yeah, historic. I just bid one warrior. Didn't have any cards, I think. No, so um, I would pick it up if I can have it, but I can't really bid more than one warrior. And then Martin gets the second copy of Alchemy, and also goes for the medieval army now, and gets to take a breakthrough as well. So that's pretty nice turn again. Gets to go for a colony and then use Barbarossa and go for a better tactic and unit as well. So while getting some economy upgrade as well. So my Roman roads go bye bye, and then I'm not part of the Crusades. Everybody at equal strength basically, and the Conmon is the first card of H2, and E5 immediately takes it for 3. He did produce already now, so he's still a long way off from actually playing that. So I guess I would have liked to get it, but I don't know if I would have done that in his position. Not sure, because it's gonna take a long time for him to get it. Martin already has a government, so yeah, probably I would get that first copy, but then he has Colosseum, so Republic is a um, fine government. There is even Max, so with both Max and Colosseum, Republic is about as strong as it gets. Um, so I would not have been in such a hurry to take this for 3. It's also not like I can go for it immediately, so it's not that much of a hate pick either. Yeah, not sure if this was necessary. Of course, otherwise you're taking H1 cards, and there's not that much he can pick. Like, don't know if he wants St. Pete's. There's no ocean liner, so, and I think for Suez there's not much. He has Columbus, of course, so maybe he doesn't want to block a Suez. Kind of depends on if he already has good colonies. I don't know. Then I'm not seeding, and I'm Nostradamus again in this game, but I don't know if I have screenshots even. So yeah, I don't think I can tell about what's being seeded. I don't think I took screenshots. So I have strategically lost my Roman road, so I can now take St. Pete's for one civil action. Like a famous soccer player said, every disadvantage has its advantage. And then get the mine upgrade, build one stage, take the swordsman. And I have the immigration, so St. Pete's will be pretty nice, I suppose. Yeah, the Foreno comes out. Yeah, that was also still to come. So yeah, my events backfired pretty bad. I seeded them mostly because I wanted to hit something like rocks on the first and signs on the second, and yeah, didn't get what I wanted, and the events ended up completely backfiring. So that's not great. Takes the code for two, the call for two. I mean, uh, so that's an early call. So that's bad news. And yeah, e5 had not gone for the iron yet, so he's very happy to get it for two civil actions even, not even having to pay 3 for it, for this super early call. Also uses Barbarossa again, goes up to 11 strength. I have a defense card now, so at least I can defend even without investing more. But I'm also able to increase my strength a bit if I need to. I can make this worker happy, or I can go for upgrades. Yeah. So e5 will now go for the iron and can upgrade all three. Elects Napoleon, and where did he have a worker? Okay, he had one guy. Okay, and builds another swordsman. So he's now at 12 strength. Mm, not the best Napoleon at this point, but okay. Uh, yeah, he's gonna have like okay. He just invested signs in the iron, so I really not seeing this come on. Think like at some point going for revolution for republic might be cleaner, um, especially now with Napoleon as well, who was on the row already last turn. With Napoleon and the Colosseum, he also got this, so he did get 3 extra signs from Columbus, and it fixed his yellow bank a bit, which is also useful. And he got a quick new leader, so that's some good things for him. I see the immigration now, and yeah, this is a little sad, I suppose. Just rub it in about the Roman roads disaster, and then I'll take a Republic cannon, both for 1, which is very nice, and yeah, take a patriotism, which is very valuable with having Republic, and I'll build an extra warrior. Now that my people are happy, I can spend the unit here, get a second fighting band, and make it at least more safe against aggressions. It means though that I'm not getting this selective breeding, but yeah, there were a lot of cards I really kind of had to take, I think. Like Republican Cannon are also super important, and I can't afford to take the breeding here, which is unfortunate because the second copy is also on the row. And yeah, this is a bit dangerous of missing out now, but I don't know how I can avoid it really, because I had to take some important cards here. And yeah, kind of building the Basilica so I can get an extra warrior was also quite necessary, I think. So yeah. Yeah, should look at my draw perhaps. Never mind, I should not have looked at my draw. Then Martin goes for coal, takes navigation, energy. And him taking this navigation is actually pretty unfortunate, I think, because yeah, these 3 cards maybe didn't look like the best cards for him to take, because he already has a cavalry knights, he already has irrigation, and navigation is kind of expensive for him. Sure, he can maybe go for a colony plan, but it didn't really look that attractive for him. But him taking this navigation now means that this selective breeding will also fall down to 1, and that means e5 can take it and I won't have one. Of course, he could have denied me this for 2 selections as well, but I thought maybe he won't be doing that. But now he doesn't have to pay any price. And that's another bad event happening. I lose a lot of science to the Dark Ages, and I was just ready to go for Republic, so it's the worst possible timing for that. Don't know if I knew about it, but don't think so actually. And yeah, e5 takes the selective breeding, also has the cavalryman. And yeah, this game is a bit ugly looking at the moment, because I already know I won't have food solution. There's no ocean liner in this game. There is this statue which I can go for perhaps, but that's not going to fix my food situation just by itself, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm just going to do a revolution now, because with the Dark Ages I just lost a lot of science. I'll need military techs at some point, so I'm just going to do a revolution. I have no corruption with this, so it's a pretty clean revolution turn. And yeah, at least like this I preserve my science, can go for other things later on. Mm, Culture-wise, it's still pretty equal, because with Republic it's always important that you have some way to score culture, um, to not fall behind on culture because you're not set up for wars. Now there's pestilence, which is another bad thing when you are stuck without population, and for the foreseeable future even. And then Martin goes straight for the Swiss, had an EG I think, yeah, and then takes revolutionary ID. So he is definitely going for colonies now. E5 now does the revolution to Conmon, which is still very expensive, and yeah, leaves him without science. So this is also looking pretty ugly, I think, because he's not going to have science for quite a while, uh, and will have, when he finally has some science, have to decide whether to go for science upgrades or the food upgrades. So he will be missing something for a long time as well. Also, he has this Napoleon, who isn't really doing anything without signs and food. Like, how is he going to get another type of unit? So then it's just 2 strength and the 6th military action. So I'm not really liking his position either at the moment. Meanwhile, Martin's position is looking pretty solid already, and once he finishes the Suez, probably next turn, if he has a good colony for that, then his position is looking much stronger than the others. Especially with the pestilence I still have to resolve. I see the autonomous now. At least he didn't have that one in hand. The immigration comes out, so that was seeded by me. And yeah, it's of course dangerous to cede the territory, or bad perhaps, to cede the territory into somebody's Swiss and probably navigation by the time it gets revealed. But it would be a very good colony for me to win. I have a defense card, so there is some chance of that. And yeah, it just scores me 5 culture. And I think at this point I'm already starting to think I should just make sure I stay ahead of e5, who maybe has an even worse position, because yeah, there's just a lot of problems here. Well, I'll also have a problem, but not. So if I can just score some culture now, and sure, maybe Martin will win that autonomous and get even more ahead, but I think I'm already behind Martin anyway, and not looking good, assuming he has a good colony at least. So the strategy is available, that's good. Very important with Republic to get this. And then I also build another lab, take efficient upgrade, and what else? Opera. Yeah, like I said, I need some way to score culture because I'm not going to be going for wars at any point. And there is bug in this game, so I think that's also part of the reason that the third lap is pretty nice here. The signs will definitely still be useful. And yeah, I got this turn the pestilence, which destroyed one warrior, and the immigration, which got me the population back. So I kind of used this to transition it into an alchemy. Um, which, like I said, I think the science is still going to be very useful for a while, and hopefully I can, with Bach, maybe put a third alchemy later on into an opera and get some culture engine going, which is always what you want with a lot of civil actions and a culture engine. That's some way towards a good ending. But of course, the military is going to be dangerous as long as I don't have any population. Cultural influence doesn't do much. And there's the Suez, and it reveals inhabited. Yeah, so now he has a lot of population. He was on just also a little, not much food production actually, but yeah, with this inhabited, uh, now he's going to have good population. Gets an efficient upgrade and a breakthrough. And he got a navigation developer, so probably he knows about some colonies, and probably I know about some colonies as well at this point. But like I said, I didn't take notes, or I don't know where they are. Wealthy territory is revealed. It's won by e5 actually, which I didn't mind at all. He spends some cards for it, so it's relatively cheap, but like I said, he doesn't have the signs to go for either signs or food. So him getting some extra rocks, there's no wonder on the board. He can probably go for one of those at some point, although not really set up for Kremlin either, because again, he has no science for the organized religion, so he's gonna get in trouble with that pretty soon, and then maybe have to spend his science on this again, and get into even more trouble. So him getting extra rocks for population is just fine for me. I did bid for it a bit. Did I bid 5? I bid 5, but yeah, okay, I just um, assumed that Martin would have more anyway. Although he only bid 6, so thought he maybe bid a bit more. I think I just wanted to make it a bit more expensive for Martin, and didn't really expect e5 to go for this. So I'm pretty happy it ended up with him. Like probably the best outcome of all three. He built a third lab now, that makes a lot of sense, and takes a scientific method. And he will have corruption, I think he did. Yeah, so yeah, that makes the colony perhaps worse even, although it doesn't make any difference for corruption, right? You just get the 3 blues here. But still, it shows that he wasn't really short on rocks. At least next turn he can go for a lot of science upgrades, but and after that for food. So yeah, I think that's why I said I think it's important for me to get a bit ahead on culture now, so that I can hopefully defend that culture lead against e5. And I see the good harvest at this point. Yeah, there's a colony coming out, and this time again I bid 5, and assumed Martin would bid 6 for it, which he does. So I see the good harvest. It's the first card into the next stack. So there's 4 more events before it. and h3 will be starting by my next turn, and I'm hoping to get in, yeah, either next turn or the turn after, then a mechanized agriculture will be available for me, and hopefully I can go for that. Um, that's a bit of a gamble, and it can backfire. It's possible that my opponents get more out of this, especially if e5 gets the breeding going. But I think I kind of have to gamble on this a bit, because my situation is a bit problematic otherwise. And it's a long time until it comes out. There's probably a pretty decent chance. I have a lot of civil actions, and I have an efficient upgrade. So really, as soon as it's available on the row, I can go for it, and yeah, hopefully get the benefits of the good harvest, because that would really catapult me back into the game. I think if that happens, if I get like immediately a double production of food out of an upgrade, that's a huge difference. And yeah, I basically have not much to do with my rocks and everything now, because yeah, I'm stuck on population, and so I just take this Kremlin and build it, which I think is nice. Gives me 5 military actions even, which is a decent amount, and not what you usually have with the Republic. Going into h3, so that's good. And yeah, more culture production again. I'm already producing a bit more than the others, and yeah, Bach is not on the row yet, but my plan is to go for Bach next turn, and then hopefully I can build like one opera, like, or maybe upgrade one lab, maybe upgrade the temple. Next turn I'll have to upgrade the lab, and but I'll get 2 extra happy faces, so then I'll be good for a while. And then after that maybe upgrade this one, and that would give me a nice culture engine. And then, like I said, if the mechanized agriculture comes out in the meantime, then I'm actually looking pretty good, and then I might still win this game even, but it's going to depend on that. I considered whether Martin would be going for Bach potentially, like maybe even to, because he sees that it's, because now I really need the Bach next turn, because yeah, with the Kremlin I now have a happy face problem. So I considered, but I thought he would, yeah, for him James Cook is just better, so I don't think he will go for Bach. And then I take the wave and develop cavalryman. And I also copy a tactic or something. I heard some noise. No? I copy the legion. Okay. Okay, because then I'm not the weakest, and this maybe has to do with events. I think developing the cavalryman. I think there was arms industry in somewhere. Yeah. Or maybe freedom, but I think there's arms industry coming. And that's why I have to develop this already. Yeah, not sure. There's arms industry. Nice. So this gives me 2 rocks now, thanks to the cavalry tech. And also, yeah, it's even more because both of my opponents would have gotten, or no, just Martin. Yeah, so it's -2 rocks for Martin, +2 for me. So Bach is available for 3, but Martin does go for Cook for 2, which is, like I said, just better for him. He also doesn't have that many civil actions, so taking this and having to take the opera probably, it's not really possible, I think. Yeah, he gets a second lab mine upgrade, and also a lab upgrade. Yeah, and he's now at 10 rock production, so that's gonna be difficult. And also, yeah, he's now producing culture, and he was already ahead by a bit, so it's looking pretty tough. He also has some signs in hand, so has the Acropolis, so can probably go for an H3 government relatively easily. and then his government will be better as well. Now my autonomous comes out, and yeah, this does go to Martin. Think didn't he has to bid an army at least, but yeah, I didn't draw any more defense cards after the one I had, because it would have been, I think, what did I bid 7? So yeah, I actually bid 7. Um, so I went all in for this, but sadly couldn't win it. Of course, he has cook and 3 bonus, so it would have been hard anyway. But the autonomous is going to help him, unfortunately, and he took 6 food from it, so he'll have more population as well. Then e5 goes for 3 upgrades here. Now has the science going, but yeah, the food still has to wait. So he got that breeding, but now we are h3, and yeah, he still doesn't have the breeding. So it's now possible for me to get mechanized from now on. So then it's actually not even that great for him that he got it. And he's going to fall behind a bit on culture, because if I get the Bach going, which I will start this turn, and Martin has cook and the colonies, and I think he is already very hard to beat at this point. But then, like I said, I'm just going to try to defend the culture lead against e5 mainly. I lose Nostradamus because Bach wasn't actually on the row on last turn. And then yeah, I have to fix this uprising anyway. So I'm upgrading one lab to an opera, which puts me pretty low on science production. And I'll take another wonder, the railroads, and I'll reveal my hussars already, which probably had a good reason. I'm going to switch. I think my plan is I'm going to switch like the hard way at some point, delete warriors and build cavalrymen. And I have this patriotism and this wave in hand, so it's not as painful as it could be. It's just going to cost me a bunch of military actions. So I'm playing the hussars now, so that yeah, I can do this with losing fewer draws when I have to make that switch. And I'm also taking the railroad. So basically, I'm in danger of strength at some point for sure. So I want to ride one or few operas to a culture lead against e5, and meanwhile defend my strength as well as possible. So I'm preparing for this switch towards cavalrymen without population, just deleting stuff and building it, while also taking the railroad and yeah, having as many ways as possible to set up strength. I also have an efficient upgrade in hand, and I'll be at 11 signs now, or did I put? No, I produced already. So maybe there's a chance of going oil later on with the railroad, but that's gonna be a bit tough on science. But maybe if I get like a Rev ID, I do have actions, of course, so that's my biggest advantage. So maybe I can pick up a Rev ID in oil, and that's still an option with the railroad. But mostly I just want to keep up my strength with whatever is available. Crime wave. And yeah, I could go for the hussars now because I'm not in danger of aggression, and now I at least threaten to go for 2 cavalrymen plus the railroad. And then Martin starts building military, which is rather as expected at this point, I think. And he has the mobile artillery, so he's at 18 strength, and yeah, that's why it's necessary that I start preparing my own defenses. And wealthy territory is won by Martin for pretty cheap, yeah, basically very cheap. And there is now an oil on the table, which I was definitely eyeing, because can't go for it next turn, but there's also this rev ID here. Or maybe there will be another available, or maybe this one will be taken. But if I can get these, then that's nice, because I need things to improve my civilization. Of course, I'm still hoping for mechanized agriculture most of all, because now the deck is flipped, but it's my turn, so I can choose not to seed. And if there's a mechanized agriculture now, then that would be really perfect. We're already a bit into H3, so it would be nice if there arrives just in time a mechanized agriculture now. But the oil is taken by E5, and he goes for it, and yeah, upgrades 2, 3, okay. So now he has massive rock production, and even deletes a farm to fix his happy faces. I'm not sure if I agree with this. I think it's a kind of weird move. He has the science for the oil, sure. But he's again delaying his food production, and I'm not sure if that's what he should do. So, of course, it does look dangerous now with the 15 production for the rest of the game. So, yeah, if there's a mech ag for him next turn, well, because the selective breeding is gonna be slow now, like you get one population per turn out of it for the if you upgrade next turn. But maybe he can go for, yeah, like really massive economy still. But he's behind on culture, so he needs to upgrade the food next turn and then find ways to start scoring culture. Yeah, maybe a war at some point, but he's still missing a lot of pieces for that as well. So I'm not sure about this whole thing. Like maybe I could go for oil and delete even a third mine instead of upgrading, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I was a bit sad to see the oil go, because like I said, I was thinking about, and there's no mechanized agriculture for me. I offer the military alliance. Yeah, the good harvest is on top. I didn't want to see it now. There's maybe some chance that that nobody seeds for a round, but I think mostly it has to do with corruption issues. Mm, no, probably not, because I do get out of it. I get a rev ID, that's a big one, and then I also take tanks, which is good if I have to stay on hussars, and I take the frugality. And one thing I remember is that there is economic progress in the next deck as well. So I think the frugality is maybe also with the plan of getting a reserves at some point, which also isn't on the board yet, unfortunately. But at least getting something going at some point, because also once I do get enough food for one population, then even if the frugality won't be enough for a second one, it can pay for this at least. So that's why I'm taking it anyway. And also I don't want to take too many texts because I don't have that much science. I don't find the time to upgrade to a second. Actually, I spent all my rocks now on the railroad, I suppose. So there's no second upgrade yet. I do have an efficient upgrade, but I don't want to do this upgrade yet, because then I just don't have enough science left. I would rather use it on the religion 2 opera. I do produce 11 culture now, and I have now 22 strength, so I have used the wave and patriotism to build this army, finish the railroad, so that I'm, I think, pretty safe at the moment. Have this rev ID, so I could even go for an air force if it's available next turn. So military wise, I'm pretty safe, and I'm running away from E5 in culture, and like I said, I'm still close in culture to Martin, but it's still not really looking likely that I'm beating him, because he has much more production. Then there's a war. Martin goes to war against E5, and yeah, he can build another army with the patriotism probably. Yeah, so completes his second army and builds a third one. And can go for democracy at the same time, like I said with the Acropolis. And he ends up at 34 strength. So yeah, I think I could defend a bit better, but probably not completely. Like if I get an Air Force, then I'm at 9 more, so 31. So then at least with a pact, there was some chance that he would not win the war, I suppose. While against e5, we will see now. Also with this 15 production and not having any population yet, it's probably a great time to attack e5 before he gets even more in economy setup, and then can prepare better. Unfortunately, e5 seeds, so my good harvest is revealed. There won't be another chance to see the mechanized agriculture. At least e5 also didn't have his food production, even deleted the third farm. So at least he's also not getting anything out of it, or at least he's getting the ability to pay his taxes, I suppose. He is able to build a classical army now and takes military build up Rev ID, but yeah, he's still not able to defend very well, and losing yellow tokens is going to hurt him again. Steve Jobs is at least fixing his happy faces for now, but yeah, he's having to do this now instead of getting the selective breeding going is again very painful. And then yeah, I also have to be able to defend, so I will develop my tanks and upgrade 2 of them. I did consider the oil here, because yeah, again, no mechanized agriculture. So going for the oil would be nice, but then I think I can't defend, and I don't really want to take any risks at this point. E5's position is getting wrecked a bit. He's gonna lose 3 yellows and he's gonna be in trouble. While Martinez is just too strong. He's got democracy now. He's got good military, tons of production, and is already a bit ahead in culture against me. So I don't really see much chance to beat him. And I think the main objective for me now is just to make sure nothing too bad happens. Don't get aggressed by Martin. Don't give him any reasons to go after me. Just keep producing what culture I can and hope for the best at the end. So I'll upgrade religion to an opera now. Take reserves at least, so I finally have some food. Also a Rev ID also for 3 actions, and then an urban growth. So just putting my actions to use, taking some good yellows in hand, and setting up as much potential as possible. And yeah, with the reserves and the frugality, I have now 9 food, so I could go for 2 population, but then I also have to fix my food, either build a third farm or get make egg. Yeah, and I do know about economic progress still, so yeah, I'm not sure if that's very relevant. So 3 yellow tokens, and then terrorism is revealed. That's yeah, bad event. But yeah, of course, one that made sense for e5 to have. Martin goes from multimedia to multimedias and takes the military theory. So yeah, he's got a great culture engine now and is also prepared for the military. First Air Force appears, and e5 takes a second copy of military theory and now goes for the breeding. McAgus just appeared on the board actually, but yeah, gets 1 upgrade but has to delete the other farm. Doesn't delete the swordsman, so I guess he's saying I'm not getting any more population, we're getting to the extra payment and then the 7 food area anyway, so he's not gonna get any more population out really. So he keeps the military around and will just try to go maybe do something all in on war. He's got plenty of military actions now, so I have to be a bit careful because of that. But he doesn't have time to take the air forces, so that's good. I don't see anything here, and so I get the air forces and can go for one by using some yellows, yeah, deleting the warrior also, and use the reserves to go for an air force, and then take another reserve. So yeah, just survival mode basically. Take the rocks I can get, go for military, and now I'm prepared to build 2 more tanks if I have to, so I'm as safe as I can get for now. Then there's fast territory, which I actually win. So I'm going to send my air force and my cards. Not in danger of aggression by e5. And so this fast is interesting. So now I actually have some food and will be able to use the frugality. And I think at this point I'm also looking at the red cross, which is pretty hilarious if you've been stuck on food the entire game. But this might be an interesting way to score some rock culture. And yeah, we'll maybe get to that on my turn. Then yeah, Martin has the second copy of Air Forces, which appeared on my turn. Takes some mechanized agriculture, which I didn't have time to go for now because I had to build that Air Force, go for military. So I couldn't take the mech ag, and I think at this point it's just getting too late anyway. I won't really have the benefits anymore. And then he also has Einstein for his leader. And then engineering pro sports, and yeah, still needs happy faces, so, and he has an urban growth, so this is efficient enough. And then also goes for modern infantry, and can spend a bunch of military actions probably to upgrade these. So now he's at 41 strength and looking a bit dangerous. I don't have that many rocks. I just sent an air force for that colony, and like I said, I think I had a plan with that. But I have to be careful because of this, because he can definitely build a second army just by deleting stuff, and then he's actually looking quite dangerous with full. He can even build a second army and probably like another modern infantry or something. Maybe even 2 if it just keeps destroying. Because yeah, of course he's far behind in culture against both of us, so he may definitely do something desperate, and it's not going to be against Martin because he has by far the best position, so I have to be careful because of that. And then I again don't see it, and like I said, I can now go for Red Cross. I use the frugality, and I'll build an air force, use Bach one more time to put the alchemy into opera, and then I'll go for Gandhi, which is actually a setback on culture, and build 2 stages of the Red Cross. And yeah, the Gandhi is interesting because it wasn't really obvious at first because e5 has so many military actions, but it's just enough, I think, for to help me defend against him, because he needs to spend 3 military actions to complete his second army, which means he only has enough for the hybrid war. And I think if he only builds a second army, that's 11 and 8, 19, and he's 5 ahead, so 24. and I can build 15. So then he wins the war by 9, which so he steals 14 culture, which that puts him still a bit behind me, especially because I also have Red Cross. So that's like, and it only works if he has precisely hybrid war, of course. And the hybrid part is not going to affect me. I think he'll be fine with that as well. 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, just barely. Um, but then, oh yeah, it's not +5, of course, it's the hybrids. So then he also steals 5 less culture, and I should still be quite well ahead of him. Of course, he might well score better on impacts. So it's still not ideal if he actually has that hybrid war. Um, but this at least prevents war over culture, makes it therefore much less likely that he can go for war. Also, by destroying things for war, his impacts might suffer a bit as well. So I think with only being able to go for hybrid war, and yeah, he already has to have drawn precisely that one, um, that makes it, I think, pretty unlikely that he can find a way to catch up to me. And also, I knew about economic progress, as I've been saying, and I was kind of hoping it would be revealed now because it's one of these two cards, and I thought Martin maybe seeds. And if it's revealed now, I get +1 food actually, and that would be quite a big deal because then I'd have exactly 6 food, which would be enough for 2 stages of the Red Cross. Sadly, Martin doesn't see it, so this doesn't happen, which means Martin will. And this was also some slight hope I still had of finishing ahead of Martin. Like if exactly now the economic progress was revealed, then I would get 4 stages and Martin only 1. E5 can't take any stages, and that would be another 12-point swing for me, and that might be another little hope to win this game. But it's still going to be a long shot, of course. So Martin gets civil service, now has a really beautiful government, builds a third multimedia, so yeah, just cruising here. 6 cultures scoring for Cook, and yeah, the Swiss has been strong, of course. And then E5 seats, and it's not the economic progress, it's the freedom of movement. And he takes the fast food chains, which of course he can complete, but it's not going to be very big. Can I see this? No, can't see this. Not gonna count it now. Yeah, so there's no war from him, and he just goes for fast food chains, but I don't think that will be enough to catch up to me. And then on my turn, I think now I see it on my final turn, if I remember well. The impact of competition. Then yeah, the economic progress is revealed, and it's pretty crappy now, but okay. Then I play RevID, take multimedia. At least I think with those 4 rocks I can build a multimedia now, which helps me for some impacts also. And then play the resource for food to build another stage, and take the fundamentalism. And I see that, so impact of competition, which scores 12 points for me now, which is a bit more than Martin. He has 9, but E5 actually has quite a bit more. So I think 4 points more at the moment might improve that even. But yeah, I thought at this point I might as well go and try, but yeah, I already produced here, right? So I'm really far behind my Martin, but then E5 is also far behind me, so I thought I might as well try the impact of competition, but that might have been not correct, I don't know. This event would have been nice, but of course it couldn't be revealed because it's in the next stack, but it's actually nice for both of them still, I think, and for Martin. Um, Anyway, Martin goes for some food upgrades, making it clear that agriculture and or balance are in there, which are okay, probably agriculture, um, or maybe both. And yeah, both of these impacts are of course very bad for me because I have no food production, even as the fifth multimedia, and the lights are really pretty in this now. And popularization of science. uh, so it's basically another wonder for Martin. Yeah, if there was any sliver of hope of winning this game, it's now absolutely crushed with knowing that he has agriculture and maybe balance in there. But of course, he was also winning most other impacts. E5 goes for more mines even, so he probably has industry in there, which is also going to be scoring him a lot of points against me. Gets at least 22 out of the fast food, so prosperity helping a little bit there, and upgrades the rest of his military. So that competition is now actually going to be big for him, and I kind of regret putting it in there because I'm clearly not catching Martin. And yeah, competition gives 9 points to e5, but the gap is still almost 40 points, so I don't really think he can catch me. Architecture even gives me 2 points. Agriculture assets was indeed in, and yeah, I'm already 60 points behind Martins, which really wasn't close. e5 catches up a bit and is now 30 behind me. And industry is indeed in, which catches him another 14, so he's now only 17 behind. And then last one is harmony, which is not going to do that much. So yeah, in the end, I think this game was not super close. Like if it was, I probably shouldn't have tried the competition even, but yeah, the popularization of science had to come still, and seeing the food upgrades and everything. But even so, maybe there was still more chance that e5 caught up to me than that I caught up to Martin. Anyway, yeah, I think already for a large part of the game, this was the standings where we were headed. Of course, there could still at various points happen things that changed something, but this is just where we ended up. And that means Martin has now won a 3-player game. Yeah, I did take a screenshot of the standings for this. I'll try to do that from now on to show this at the end of my videos. But if you recall, e5 was in the lead after the 4-player games, doesn't score any points now. Martin was in second position, and that means he overtakes e5, I think. Yeah, 11 versus 9 now, while my 2 points put me at 5 points. And yeah, still well behind both of them. So yeah, we'll see where this ends up afterwards. There are still 2 more 3-player games for me, and then we'll get to the 2-player games as well. Right, that's it for this video, and yeah, I'll see you when the next game finishes.